Hi, everybody. My name is Melanie Keller, and I am. Okay, we're going to go again. Perfect. Hi, everybody. My name is Melanie Keller. I am the Associate Artistic Director of First Folio Theatre, and I am here today with my very, very dear friend, Lydia Berger Gray, and her newest family member. Who is this, Lydia?
This is Winslow Abrams Lewis Gray.
Hi, Winslow. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everybody.
Today, I am going to chat with Lydia a little bit about her affiliation with First Folio and some of the stuff that she loves and the things that we've worked on together. So, Lydia, first and foremost, I want you to tell me a little bit about your relationship with First Folio. When did you first start working with the company? How did you get to know everybody at First Folio? Tell me a little bit about that.
I started at First Folio many years ago, but I went and auditioned for a bunch of things, and I finally got cast. I was so excited in the Scottish play. Can I say it?
Yeah, you're not in the theater.
Okay, Macbeth. And then they ended up needing Phoebe for As You Like It. So I got to do, that's back when we did 2 shows a season, remember, for a certain number of years. I think this was before your time, Melanie.
It was.
So we did they were 2 show seasons, and I got to be in both. And so I was a Weird sister, AKA witch number 2, I think. The one that gets to say the line, you know, by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. That was me. Right. And then I got to play Phoebe in As You Like It. And it was so wonderful. I fell in love with Shakespeare that summer. David and Alison did a folio class, which was great because I had great theater education. I went to NIU, but I had never been in a Shakespeare play before. So it not only was it great to be in my first Shakespeare play, do outdoor theater, but I got to learn the folio technique, which I fell in love with and later used a lot. Fell in love with David and Alison, with the whole theater, with the whole community of acting outside. I just wanted to act there all the time. And so that was my first summer.
And you have now worked at First Folio on many shows, both indoor and outdoor. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about how you became interested in theater. What was your introduction?
My grandmother was a director, she was a director in a very small town in Minnesota, and ran a theater called the Buffalo Creek Players, Glencoe, Minnesota. And she did a children's theater in the summer. I don't know, maybe to entertain her grandchildren, but we got to pick our roles, and then she wrote a play around it. And so I wanted to be a leprechaun. And there was a unicorn dog in it. I remember the Unidog. And then some kids. It was called Kids and Creatures in Limbo Land. So that was my first role when I was 7. And so then I was like, so basically since then.
I did not know that your first full Shakespeare play was at First Folio. And you also talked about working outdoors. I know that you have, at this point in your career, worked on a lot of, what we call the classic authors, like Shaw and specifically Shakespeare. I know you did several seasons with the Montana Shakespeare in the Parks program and Montana Shakespeare in the schools. So I really, because I also love Shakespeare, I want to ask a little bit about what is it that drew you to Shakespeare specifically? What do you love about Shakespeare?
I think it probably goes back to my grandmother. So she took me to see Henry IV at the Guthrie, all of it. So it was really a lot. I was probably 12 or 14, something like that. 12 maybe, I don't know. She just took me. I was the only one willing to go because it was it's a lot. It's parts 1 and parts 2, but not Henry V, just parts 1 and parts 2. Still 4 or 5 hours of theater. And so ever since then, I was I just thought it was magnificent. And I think I always wanted to do it. I loved the language, loved the stories. But I really fell in love with it because of the folio technique that Alison and David taught me, because it's this technique that they didn't invent, but they do a heck of a job of teaching it, where it's like the text is a treasure map, and if you know all the clues, you can just jump right in and know exactly what, you know, all these hundreds of years later, know exactly what Shakespeare was trying to say, what the character's feeling, just from all the clues: punctuation, meter, spelling, capital letters. I mean, it's so, I think that I was just like, what is this? And so in many ways that gave me a confidence in Shakespeare that I didn't have with any other text. It's just exciting to like see stories so timeless. I don't know, I love it.
Yeah,
obviously. I wanted to say too, like thanks to the first Shakespeare show I ever did was on the stage that used to be down by Maze Lake, and then I did get to do Henry V and play the role of the chorus, and have the last line on that stage ever said. I mean, performance-wise. So it was very special. I mean, it was special for everyone involved, but that was my special. I was like, this is so deep and meaningful to me. But anyway, yeah.
You've also done a few one-woman shows in your time. And in fact, you have done 3 separate productions of the Amish Project, which is a play that we worked on together. And I just wanted to say that I was so privileged to direct you, but the idea to me of performing in a one-woman show is so intimidating. So I want you to say a little bit about, you know, what is like the scariest thing about doing a one-woman show, and what's something that is really special and awesome about doing a one-woman show?
Well, the scariest thing about doing a one-woman show is probably exactly what you imagine. Forgetting it. It's awful. It happened. Did it happen? Yes, it did. But then you have to trust your director. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine doing a one-person show without a good director. I just can't. And then coming up with devices, because at least if you forget, I mean, every actor, and you're lying if you say that's never happened to me, actors out there, but if you has forgotten the line and forgot, or been like, oh my gosh, where are we? What am I doing out here? And usually there's another person on stage to go like, you mean, is the soup ready? Is that what you were trying to say? And a lot of funny stories have happened from that. But when you are out there on your own, you're like, there's nobody to give you a clue. So Melanie I think you being an actor really helps you be such a great director, knowing that idea terrifies you too. It's like, okay, what would I want? Actually, I don't know what your process was for coming up with these bridges, but the bridges from like character to character, that really gave me like, okay, I can't remember the whole play right now, but I know that if I remember the first minute, that'll lead to the second minute, which will lead to the third. And you just had to like, it was like a personal development thing. Like I just had to trust the process and trust that I'd done it. Like I knew that if I could just remember how to start the play, I would remember what came after that and what came after that and what came after that. Plus you gave me devices for like where to stand. Each character had a gesture. So that we're talking about the Amish Project specifically. Mm-hmm. So that was, I think, one of the coolest things about it is that like having done it, you're like, woohoo, I did it. But it was written for one actor, and that the cool thing about that is for the audience is the same for the actor, is like is that life is complicated, and that you have compassion for every character. So I played the victims, I played the spouse, I played people who hated, like I played every kind of aspect of one. It's all one situation, and I got to live in 7 different viewpoints of it, and it was like that was the coolest thing to be able to do.
What is something that you have learned or something new that's come into your life in the past year?
Okay, so 2 things.
Yeah.
Voiceovers. I never really just made time for them, or I didn't have like decent equipment for it, or it's been really cool to discover that like I like this. What a cool way to what a cool way to perform. And so all of you that have been doing voice acting forever, I get it now. And then I'm like, what took me so long? I'm that old, and I'm just excited to have discovered something new in this world of acting. I also did my first television show. and it took me this long to finally get on TV. I'm commercials, but but I also have excuse me, taken up, or I did. I just went to the store and got some new ones, but paper crafting.
Are you serious?
I made these at the beginning of the pandemic, and I just bought paper houseplants because now I have that cat, and he, gotta be careful with the plants yet.
That's amazing.
I love crafting. Good, right?
Beautiful. Well, thanks, Lydia, for hanging out with me and spending some time with me. It's so good to talk to you and to learn a few new things about you and your grandmother and how we can thank her for introducing you to theater. I hope you stay safe, stay well, and I will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. See you soon.